Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode. I'm excited today to bring you an interesting interview uh, with another community member. Today, our guest is a safety management system professional and instructor on SMS and aviation security. From an engineer in the Air Force to commercial aviation, his journey of 25 years must have been a mix of challenges and lessons. Our guest today is Engineer Faisal Bashir Bhura from Pakistan. Welcome, Faisal, to this fresh episode on Flying Hub, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much, Captain Khalid. It's been an honor to be picked up from so many people around the globe who are actually doing some really good work for the aviation safety. That I got this opportunity to be a part of this platform since day one when you started this thing at LinkedIn. I was very curious to contribute myself on this platform, and fortunately, I got the opportunity to voice my concerns, my ideas, whatever I think the aviation safety should work at the global level. Thank you very much for inviting me today.
Very good. Thank you, too. Thank you for being also one of the first members in Flying Hub at LinkedIn, of course. First of all, thank you for all the members who supported us through their feedback and their comments on LinkedIn and the YouTube channel. Please do feed us back. Join us, subscribe, drop us some of your valuable comments to help us improve. So let's now take this journey to uncover things about Engineer Faisal. Faisal, what do you want to share with us about Faisal?
Okay. Well, as you have mentioned earlier, it's been like 25 years I've been associated with aviation, but that's something only count as the professional part of my life. It actually started a little way back once I was in grade 10 when I had picked up interest in aviation, in aircraft especially, more specifically to the fighters. And telling you frankly, I always wanted to be a pilot, but somehow because of my eyesight, I could not manage to pull through that. So, but I
Military or commercial?
military for sure, because that's something that still give me goosebumps whenever I see those videos and snippets and everything. Actually, that's something that always give me a very strong feeling about being a pilot. But nevertheless, I thought that I could make a work and stay with this aviation field to some other way. So that's why I picked the this profession of aeronautical engineering. Uh, After doing my college, I got inducted into the Air Force Academy, where I did my training for 4 years. I completed my degree over there, and finally, once I graduated from there, I was actually working as an aeronautical engineer at the operational bases of the Pakistan Air Force. And during my time in the Air Force, I think I learned a lot. Initially, yes, my learning was basically based on working on the aircraft as an aircraft maintenance engineer, uh, which gave me a lot of confidence in my future assignments because it was not a very easy job to do. Getting work done from people as a manager, and then uh, knowing something like knowing the aircraft, that was something which was actually new for me because we had not been the part of the practical side once we were in the academy, but once we were in the field, we were actually working with the aircraft. So that was a very interesting thing, and I learned a lot of things. I have a lot of experience from there, and fortunately, being in the Air Force, I also got the opportunity to work as an aircraft accident investigator. Uh, I think curiosity is something which is always there with me, and that actually helped me out in that particular domain. And I've learned a lot from my seniors and from the working experiences.
I was about to ask you about that before we actually delve too much into the professional side. I was about to ask you about your what are the interests that capture your attention normally?
You're talking about the investigation part.
I'm talking about what interests capture your attention.
Okay. So you're talking about particular to the aviation or something which is other than
Anything,
the.
anything. You already mentioned that it captures your attention every time you see a fighter jet flying, and I'm sure in Pakistan there are a lot of them doing exercises, and I had the
Yeah.
experience also to see some of them in
Okay.
Pakistan. When we fly to Pakistan as well, we get to see those in the airspace, sometimes on the ground. So you already mentioned this. But any other interests apart from the job?
Yes, yes, for sure. There are two things which I really enjoy. First is actually watching movies.
Okay,
Netflix, that give me a vent out when I am too stressed out. So I'm always ready to watch a movie, a good movie, and especially I enjoy it once I am with my family because we have a lot of post movie discussions and everything. So that's actually give me a very good feeling when I am done with my work. And second is traveling. I love traveling, and I think it's not about traveling outside the country, within country, anywhere I am traveling. I really enjoy it, and I enjoy every bit of it, and I learn so many things in between because uh, keeping observations and learning from things is something which I have gained all my life, and I really enjoyed these two things.
very good. Okay, in your profile, you mentioned that you obtained your MBA in aviation management. Did this help you in your personal and professional life, or in your perspective? How do you emphasize the significance of continuous learning in life? I mean, they are basically connected points together.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. First of all, I'll talk about continuous learning because that is something which pushed me to do my MBA. Although I have always had a plan to do my master's, my MBA, and I was curious like in which actually domain I should do it. And fortunately, I got this opportunity to do it in aviation management. So I believe continuous learning is very important because it actually drives you uh, during every stage of life, and that is one very important aspect that pushed me to the point that I decided I should do my master's, my MBA in aviation management, and it really helped me in a way that since I was associated with Pakistan Air Force for about 23 years, so once I shifted to the commercial side, that really helped me out because there are many things in the on the commercial side of aviation which are not known to you once you are on the military side. So while doing my MBA, there were a lot of electives, actually, I would say, as well
Yeah,
as the courses that actually helped me, actually gave me an insight that how things are working on the commercial side or maybe outside of the military zones and military environment. So I would really say that continuous learning is very important. If you want to excel in life, I think you must learn continuously in some way or another.
very good. So you did your MBA while you were in the Air Force before you leave.
Yes, fortunately, I got this opportunity that I was offered this program from the Air Force, and
Very good.
yes, and I got a distinction as well in my MBA
Well done.
program. Uh, so I think it was a blessing on both sides that I did think I wanted to do it, and I got this thing available to me when I wanted to do. So actually, I did it probably I guess 4 or 5 years back because I wanted to get myself. Come up to the point where I should be more aware what is happening in the industry. So I was
Yeah.
more current when I did my MBA. So it's not too far did my MBA. Although when I did my engineering, that was back in '98. So from '98 till 2018, you see there's a gap of 20 years, and it was really difficult to start studies after 20 years. But nevertheless, as I said, that if you have that appetite for learning and
True.
moving, growing yourself, that always help you push you through any limit.
Very good. After such a period, sometimes maybe 20 years is a bit too much, but having period of time with work life before you actually do your higher studies, I find it that it mixes your experience with the studies, and you get more craving actually for more.
Absolutely.
Okay, so from aircraft maintenance engineer, aircraft accident and investigator, and aviation safety training instructor, what did you find in common between these?
Uh, I believe they're all interlinked. They're all interlinked because if you ask me as an aircraft engineer, you have to do the technical diagnosis for any technical problem that comes along. Similarly, for the investigation purpose, if you have the skills of doing investigations, you could diagnose the things in a better and structured way. And lastly, if you are a trainer, especially as a safety trainer, you are well aware of the, I would say, the dangers.
The delivery as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, you're well aware that what could be the possible foreseeable things that may happen in the field, and you can relate those things in your training. You can translate those things, those actual real life experiences with the students. That how do you relate this particular problem to this particular area? I think all three these domains gave me a lot of learning, and they are interlinked. Because if you are a trainer but you don't have experience in the field, I think you won't be able to deliver the best. So it is very important that whenever you are training people like I do with the air crew, and now when I'm in the commercial side, I'm also training the cabin crew. So it really helped me out to come up with real lifetime examples that I've experienced or I have read somewhere as case studies or researches that help me to translate those things to those people and make them understand that how things are related. So I think these all these three things are interrelated and very important.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Which one is closer to your heart?
That's a that's a very difficult question. Very difficult question.
Okay, you
Uh,
don't have to answer it. You have the right to remain silent if you want. Yeah, I have another one.
okay, okay. Well, I would say aircraft investigation. I really enjoyed it because every case was a new case for me, and that actually really helped me out to dig out things from a number of sources I had to run through. Uh, so that was a very interesting part because I also did one major investigation into an accident of an aircraft. So that gave me a lot of learning. But nevertheless, safety training is also very interesting, provided you are reading, you are learning on daily basis. That is also very interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, you can make it very
Correct.
interesting if you can relate things.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You have to be updated all the time because this is an international business when it
Absolutely.
comes to aviation. That's number one. And what can happen, let's say, in Far East can affect Europe and whatever happens in Australia. And this is, I think, the beauty of this industry. We get to learn a lot from each other, and we get to share with each other a lot of information, and having platforms like LinkedIn or other platforms actually help uh, disseminating this information across the globe in a quicker manner. We keep seeing a lot of um, posts about an accident happened, for example, in South America, and then we can study that quickly. We can start avoiding it quickly, and so forth. And uh, uh, so you are absolutely right. When uh, when we in aviation, we really have to be staying updated all the time. Um, so how has your passion for learning? Because I can see that in your words. How has this passion for learning influenced your extensive professional involvement in aviation field?
Uh, That's very interesting because, as I said earlier, that that's my habit that I normally on daily basis. I have kept a habit of reading different reference materials like newsletters and the information coming. Uh, Maybe it's LinkedIn or maybe other platforms. So for the last, I guess, 5 years, that thing has actually more pronounced. I have kept a habit that I keep reading a lot, so that there are a number of things which comes to me, and once I try to see the practical application of that particular aspect in my area or domain. So I try to implement it, apply it, and see that how it works out. Or maybe it helps me out to identify the gaps which are in the system, in my system, maybe that I could get corrected through ways and means. So I think that has a very strong relation that whatever I am learning, whatever passion I have for this learning to grow as a professional, has a direct impact on whatever I'm doing. And interestingly, I would say, I'm sure you would agree to me that if you are doing a job which you love, and I think there is nothing better than that. So if I take your example, if you are a pilot and if you are flying, and if that's your passion, I think there's nothing better you can think of. I think same goes for me that like currently as I am now more into the SMS domain, I have learned and I have been teaching as well. So for sure, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I totally agree with you. When you work on your passion, then it's actually a double win. So, did you have any opportunity to integrate your professional expertise into academia through any experiences?
Yes, yes, this is very. Uh, I had opportunities on both domains while I was in the Air Force. As you mentioned earlier, as an aviation safety trainer, I conducted all the major safety courses uh, at one of our prestigious institution. I was an instructor over there, and I conducted courses for aircraft accident investigation, aircraft technical investigation, safety management system, ground safety, uh, flight safety, and a few other quality assurance, and a few other courses. So that was one part that I had, and right now. When I'm in the this airline, I'm actually conducting SMS training for the air crew and cabin crew. But in between, I also got the opportunity to teach as a visiting faculty at a private university, where I used to conduct this SMS course for the undergrad BS Aviation Management program. So
Is that a college or a university or?
it is a university. It's a proper university, and they are offering the aviation management program. In fact, that is the same university where I did my MBA. And while I was doing MBA, I had all the desire to come over there and teach the new generation because in Pakistan, there actually there's a lot of need for people to actually a part of academia who are also part of the I would say mainstream, who are working in some specific areas so that they can relate or translate their expertise with those people who are sitting across you. And I would say that teaching students at the university level was another very unique, I would say, experience for me because I always love sharing knowledge with people. And what was one other, I would say, audience for me to talk to because I learned a lot from them as well. So it was a unique experience to me as well. While training the pilots and engineers and air traffic controllers, and now coming on the other side, teaching those young boys and girls on the subjects which you are experiencing. I think it was a great experience, and I keep on doing it depending upon the time availability. Whenever they ask me if I have time, so I keep conduct those courses with the university depending on my availability.
You're right. I feel what you're saying. It's very rewarding when you actually transfer that tacit knowledge that you have throughout the years to the young generation. Well
For
done.
sure.
Thank you very much for that. Um, uh, Final question. Now, since you've been in safety management system for a while and as a safety specialist in the SMS, which specific domain or function or area in aviation do you believe warrants global attention at present?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I was very eager to answer this question. That Right now you must have witnessed that at LinkedIn, I have been writing a lot about the inconsistencies of SMS implementation at a global level, and we have actually witnessed some really serious incidents and accidents where there were factors, there were gaps which were probably, I think, overlooked, not taken care of at the right time, and they eventually led to a disaster. Like if you talk about Latam Air last year, if you
Yeah,
remember, at runway incursion, that was a pure confusion uh, that actually caused that unfortunate accident. Similarly, this beginning of the year, the incident of Japan Airline, that was also very unfortunate because of the communication and problems. Uh, this thing has occurred, and there are a number of events. I think they are happening around at the global level. And while I was doing some research on these statistics about those cases, so it is confirmed that the number of cases have increased from 2022 in 20 as compared to 2023. So I think situational awareness and communication are two very specific areas which are missing. But over and above, as you are aware that whenever there is an accident, it is not happening in isolation. So there are precursors behind it. So many times we are avoiding those precursors, and I believe the near misses in majority of the cases are the areas which we overlook. We don't follow up properly, which eventually lead to the problem we experience that we are experiencing. So I think uh, there has to be some kind of collaboration between the operators, between the airlines, between the navigation services, airports, regulators. They should work together and align themselves to identify those specific gaps which are coming and causing such kind of events, which I think which are not called for. I think those events could be avoided. Many of them could be avoided. Like I would say, there have been instances where there was an incursion between a car and an aircraft. There incursion between a tow truck with an aircraft. Uh, those things could have been avoided. But I believe probably there had been some near misses which were not taken care of properly on either part, maybe on the regulator part or maybe on the operator part, and somehow there were gaps. As you are aware, I think about the Swiss cheese model that we have the defenses available, and those defenses are not there. Eventually, it leads up to some kind of incident or accident. So I think uh, follow-up mechanism, monitoring mechanism needs to be enhanced at all levels, at all stakeholders levels. That's what my firm belief is.
yeah, that's absolutely right. But when you say they all have to collaborate with each other, who do you think should take the lead from your perspective?
Sorry, come again.
Who should take the lead? The operators, the civil aviation authority, uh, the ministry, if there is a ministry responsible for this, or the uh, investigation safety board, or who should actually take the lead to study and as you said, they all should come together and work together and try to identify the gaps. I think there are in a lot of countries this is happening, but if there are any gaps in between these two or these three entities or four entities, who do you think should take the lead? And
I believe it's the operator. I believe because of the reason that regulators have been given very, I say, basic threshold and guidelines by account that what are these standards they have to maintain, and they have dished out those standards to the operators. I think first is the responsibility of the operators that they must define some kind of mechanism where they identified those weak areas, but after that, regulators must keep a strong oversight as well. That whatever data is coming from the operator, whatever data they want
Yeah.
from the operator is coming there, and whatever they are receiving from the operator, they must see it seriously and identify those specific areas if they find any anomaly in that data. So first is the operator. It is their responsibility that they should, because they have been giving a data line that this is the minimum acceptable level of safety performance you have to manage. If you're doing at that level, it is fine. If you're doing above that, that's a bonus. But at the same time, after that, regulators have a role to play as well, because they are taking a lot of data from the
Yeah.
airlines.
Sorry, when you say operators, you mean including airports as well, airport authorities, right?
Uh,
Or airlines.
I'm talking about the airlines. I'm talking about the airlines. And operators, I would also include the ground handling agents as well, because they
Okay.
also have a very critical role to play here. So I would also put them in the lead along with the airlines, because they are the ones who are mostly in contact with each other at the RAM side during all kind of operations. So they must be very careful, because that they have to ensure that whatever weaknesses they find in their particular domain, they must address it. And because the regulator cannot go and check each and everything, whatever data is coming from the airline, uh, they must analyze it, and they must try to guide the operators that they must do things in the guidelines given by the government. There is one very important, one important thing I like to highlight here, that although ICAO has issued specific guidelines for the SMS program and other safety aspect, but there are issues with the safety cultures also. And I think you would agree with that, that the safety cultures are not same in all countries, and that is also a very big problem to implement those minimum guidelines as well. Uh, but nevertheless, I believe operators have the major role to take the lead in this case.
Faisal, thank you for your time and thank you for joining us today. I really appreciated this short time at Flying Hub. I wish you all the best and Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you so much. Likewise, really appreciate for your interest of inviting me at this forum, and I hope whatever we have talked about, it will go across the globe, and there must be some takeaway for the people, even if it goes for the learning purpose only. I think that's really important for me.
Thank you, Faisal.